because when we record, we're going to send you everyone on this session. We're going to send you the recording, and it's very important to review the recording on this for this session, and I'll explain that in a little bit. All right. So if you have questions, just type it in the chat. I'll be monitoring that as well. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So we'll go to get started right now. Okay. So today's topic is discovering the vital art of lead generation, very, very important, and effective follow-up to increase our sales results and our success rate. Okay. So I'd like to make a few promises to you. I sincerely do respect your time and effort in being here with us on this session, and also if you're watching on the Facebook Live, is my first promise is I will not waste your time. If you've attended our previous sessions, I always promise to share relevant, timely, and valuable information on all of these sessions. And you don't need to believe everything I say. You don't need to think, I like and trust Chris. I'll back up everything that I share with you. That's fair, right? So we're also recording this session, and we'll get it sent out to you within 24 hours as a YouTube link, so you can replay, fast forward, and rewind the parts that you want to hear and watch again. And that's very important for this session because there's one part we're going to be talking about scripts, and you're going to want to replay that part so that you can create your own first call script. Okay. Now these sessions are not a pitch fest. There's no hard selling. And I'm not going to get you to buy anything, force you to buy anything at an unreasonable or inflated price. So I may offer, in fact, I'll tell you about an offer that we have later on. It's not available just yet, but I want you to be aware of it. And I hope you're okay with these promises. And I'd like to ask you a favor. If you have questions along the way, please either type your questions in the chat or write them down, and you can ask me at the end of our session during the Q&A. Now, covering this very quickly, business is already challenging. There's a lot of cliches. Maybe I'm guilty of this as well. There's a lot of cliches that say, 2020 is over. 2020 was a kick-ass and a sucky year, right? Oh, 2021 is going to be better. But you got to think of this. What is the real difference between 2020 and 2021? The only difference is that one change, right? We're still in the same situation, and maybe for the foreseeable future we have extra challenges, right? All the things that we have affecting the economy, the restrictions. When we combine all of this, we have uncertainty. So the only difference between 2020 and 2021 is how you decide you're going to be, from this point on. All right. It has nothing to do with the new year. Of course, it helps us in the mindset, right? But 2021, if you don't make the changes, if you don't improve in your skills and put in the effort every single day, 2021 is going to be a repeat of 2020. Okay. So, all of these things is not really caused by the pandemic. Yes, it was a catalyst for it. What the pandemic has done, and with all that uncertainty, it's uncovered what's broken. You see, when everything was like kind of okay, we were moving along, maybe we had some success here and there. But when we have stress, when there's a pressure test on the economy, on our freedoms, our personal freedoms, is telling us that we are lacking in some skills. So what we need to do is we need to have new skills. We need to learn new skills. We need to learn better techniques and better strategies. And everything starts with everything starts with you and your product and your service. You must have these things. If we don't have these things, it's not really going to help, right? So you must have a quality product. I'm not saying that you have to be, the highest of the highest, but you must have a quality product that matches the price. So quality product, reasonable price. Then you have, exceptional value, excellent service. That's you, okay? You have to provide the value, you have to provide the service. And if the reason why we need new skills, new techniques, and new strategies is because if what you're doing now is working, you would you would have already reached your goal, or you would be on the way to reach your goal. And I want to remind everyone of the foundation. In sales and business, uh, we need to know a lot of things. We need to know a lot of things. We have to do a lot of things. We have to have all kinds of skills and techniques and strategies, right? And sometimes we forget about, we're so focused on the big picture, we forget on the daily actions that we need to take. So I want you to be aware of this. This is the foundation that you got to have. Whether you work for someone, it's your own business, you manage a team, whatever it is, right? You have to identify the activities that give you the greatest results, and you have to focus on those activities with constant and consistent action. So one of the ways that I do this is, I ask myself this question: hey, I'm doing this right now. Is this particular activity going to give me the greatest results at this moment in time? And if the answer is no, then I put it away. If I'm able to, I put it away and I do an activity that is more in line with giving me a better result or a greater result in sales and in business. Now, let's talk about the basic sales process in lead generation. There's a few components that we got to hit. In fact, let me just check one thing here real quick. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we got to focus on the lead generation, because in sales and business it starts with generating the leads, getting the leads and the prospects, and getting them and talking to them and putting them through the sales process so that they become a client. And when you have a client, you now have revenue, you have profits, you have money coming in. So we want to talk about those components of the lead generation process. Okay, and a lot of so-called gurus, they say, oh, you know what, you got to have the this and all those things, but you got to start with the demographics. Okay, so I'll run through these and then I'll explain what each one is in the next few minutes. Okay, for me, it's not really, a lot of companies and a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs, marketers, right? They put so much focus on the ad and the offer, and you have to think of this. The age old marketing formula, the try formula, is the right market, uh, which is of course the right target. So the right target, the right medium, and the right message. So if you have the best message in the world, but you're sending it to the wrong people, what's the point? Okay. Uh, so you got to figure out your demographics, and I'll share with you on the next slide what some of those components are, because what you have to do is you have to figure out who's your perfect client. Then you got to figure out what problem they have, what's your solution, what is your price, what is your value, how are they going to enter your sales process? That's a call to action. It doesn't even have to be the sales process. How are they going to enter into your follow up funnel, into your information funnel, the nurturing, the relationship, and then of course the follow up. Follow up is so important. Okay, so demographics. Who is your perfect client? I want you to, when you're watching this recording again, I want you to think about who's your perfect client. Okay, are they what's the age range, and you can actually have a range of perfect clients. So when we talk about perfect client range, we don't say, oh, my perfect client is from the age of 20 to 55. um, yes, that might be your client base, but let's say, uh, example, the age of 20 to 25, not 55, but 25, all right? Because a 50-year-old, don't they think and behave, and their needs are a little bit different than a 21 or 22-year-old? Okay, so we have to segment our perfect client into different categories, because the approach that you give to them, how you approach a 21, 22-year-old is a little bit different than how you approach a 50 to 55-year-old. All right. Once you have that, and don't just have one so-called perfect client, you're gonna have several categories, right? The next is the problem and solution. So ask yourself, and spend some time on this, figure it out, because this is very, very important. Whatever your product that you're selling, nobody buys a product because, oh, you know what, this looks nice. It's, of course, fast moving consumer goods. Yeah, we have that. Um, but generally, if we as sales professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, we have a product, we have a service, and we're fulfilling a need, right? And when we extend that out, the need is the prospect, your potential customer, has a situation, has a problem, okay? And they need to fix that problem. So you need to fully describe, okay, what the problem is that they're facing, and what is the solution that you provide. And you want to list all the benefits. Don't list the features, list the benefits. A very simple way of figuring out a benefit is, how will this benefit my client? What benefit do they get out of it? Okay, are they going to get peace, security? Are they going to save money? Are they going to make money? Are they going to save time? Are they going to, what is the benefit that they're going to get when they get your product or service? Okay. Then, what is the price offered? Is it relatively low? Is it, right, medium, or is it high? Okay. What's the value given? The value given should be an irresistible offer. It's not. It used to be 1,000, now it's 100. Okay. Um, the irresistible offer is tacked onto what I shared with you a minute ago, which is which is the benefits. The more benefits that you can translate into your customer, the more they're going to say, you know what, I think I need to have this, right? Then your call to action. What do they need to do? What do they need to do? What do they need to do to enter your sales process? How do they enter your sales process? What is the statement that you're going to make in order for them to enter your sales process? Okay, I want to share this with you as well. This is what I call, this is my lead sheet. If you see that on your screen there, um, now this is very suitable for me and my company. So we have the name and the all the details, right, and then the notes. And then if you look, now this is actually a two-pager. It's actually front and back on one sheet of paper. Some leads, yeah, we have multiple sheets. Um, but on the on the left side of the screen that you're seeing is the first page, and the bottom half of that is, how we follow up, the notes that we, what we talk about, whatever notes that you have. On the flip side of the paper is all the times that we follow up. So we keep our leads in two formats. One is the paper format that you see on your screen, and the other is the CRM platform that we use internally. Now we use two different kinds. I'll send you, when I send you the link for this recording. I'll also include some of the resources that I'm sharing with you on this session. Okay, so you can take screenshots and whatnot. But you're going to get these resources. I'll send them over to you. And the reason we have all these boxes there is because we know that follow up can be intensive. You need to be able to follow up, and you need to know where your client is at every stage of the sales process. Because if you don't know where your client is at 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 each stage of the sales process, then how do you know what to say or do in order to move them along to get closer to closing the deal? Now, when we talk about follow up, most business owners, salespeople, entrepreneurs, right? They follow up one time, two time, and then it's like, they never return my call. They keep saying I need to think about it. You know what? I think I don't have a deal. Or you call one time, two times, or three times, and then there's no answer. They don't call you back. Then you think, the deal is lost. Now, I want you to think about this. Have you ever tried to buy something and you knew that you wanted to buy it, and when the salesperson follow up with you, it's like, oh, you know what? I can't talk to them now. Maybe I'll call them back tomorrow. And then you want to buy, but you kind of not take their call today, and then you tell yourself, I'm gonna message or call tomorrow, and then tomorrow you forget, but you want to buy the product, right? So if this has happened to you, as someone that wants to buy something as a buyer, then it's definitely happening to you when you're a seller. So you have to create a follow-up process. In fact, for one of our clients, we created a 70. That's 70 days of a follow-up program, and this is basically what it looks like. Okay, and like I said, I'll share this with you, in the email that I'll send out to you. All right. So if you look at it, we're not calling every single day. We're not messaging or emailing every single day, but it's 70 days of follow up. Now you may or may not need a 70-day follow up. In my business, and we actually run several businesses, we don't just do training. We also take what we train and we apply it in the businesses that we run. We run businesses in three different countries, in a nice mix of business and services. Some of our things are tangible, some are intangible. Some things we have to ship, some things we just fulfill. So we find that our follow-up flow and our follow-up system for different businesses, different services is a little bit different. Now, in this case, what you see on your screen is a 70-day follow-up. Okay, in another one of my businesses, where we deal with hotels, and of course it's a bit challenging now, but we followed up for 2.5 years. Okay, not calling every day and talking to them, but we have a system that tells us that some of them might make a decision in 6 months, some of them might make a decision in 2 to 3 years. So you got to determine what your follow-up flow is. Okay, so when you create a prospecting system of lead generation, you have to create and follow a system. So here's a suggested system for you, in the efforts that you can take. All right, uh, create and follow your system. Now, the system doesn't have to be a dead system that you create it once and then you just follow it and there's no flexibility. And what you see in your screen here is quite a standard system, and you may want to adjust maybe the order a little bit here and there. But these are the things that you need. Okay, the first is that you need to have some form of intake. Intake means how do you start to get in touch with them? There's a couple ways. You have online and you have offline. All right. On another session, we'll talk about the online methods. Okay, the Facebook ads, the social media organic, your LinkedIn, things like that. For today, we're going to use the example of reaching out to them offline. Okay, when I say offline, what I mean by that is anything that is not social media, that is not digital, web based. All right. So one of the easiest ways to do that now, because it's very hard to go for networking events. It's very hard to uh, you know uh, challenging, I would say, to do road shows, things like that, right? So one of the ways we can do it is by calling. And I want you to think about this. Um, when I say calling, right? Yes, I'm saying cold call. All right. And when I say the two words cold call, some people say, "Oh, cold calling is dead. Oh, cold calling doesn't work." It does. It's dead, and it doesn't work because you're not doing it the right way. I've been cold calling for more than 20 years. It's not an activity that I like, uh, nor do I particularly enjoy it. Um, but I have decent skills at it. All right. I've been cold calling for over 20 years. I've written books on cold calling. I've taught Fortune 500 companies in the U.S. How to cold call the right way. And until today, they're still using the scripts that I created for them. Okay. So you got to figure out what's your intake. Then what is your specialized offer? You cannot call and say we got this, and give them like 12 things. You gotta have one or two, maximum three. Then you have to qualify them on their are they in need of it or do they want it, depending on the product or service that you have. Then in your follow up you have to nurture. You have to nurture them, get them ready to become a customer. Sometimes it's within minutes, sometimes it's within days or weeks or months or even years. So you want to create the relationship, and you want to go heavy on the benefits. Yes, you have features. Okay, features is, let's say we talk about a car. It has power steering. That's a feature. The benefit to you is that you don't have to use your strength and break a sweat. When you're trying to parallel park. Okay, you can turn it very easily because it has power steering. Example. All right. In your follow up, you have to educate, inform, and persuade. And how do you persuade? You go heavy on the benefits. Now, then you have to follow up. How are you going to follow up? Then you have to let them know, um, if you have risk free. Okay. Some companies say, okay, try it for 30 days. You don't like it, return it. Guarantee is, use it first. Or, we guarantee we'll fix anything, doesn't cost you anything, for example. All right. So think of that. I'm not saying that you have to give a money back guarantee. What I'm saying is that you have to give a guarantee. And a simple guarantee could even be, well, it could be as simple as, you know what, I'm here for you. You have my number. You can, at any time you can call me, and I promise you I'll fix the situation. Okay. It can be as simple as that. That's your personal guarantee. Now, activities that lead to the sale. And this is what we all want, isn't it? Okay, the activities that lead to the sale are lead generation, because nothing happens until you get a lead or a prospect, right? Then you have to set an appointment, whether the appointment is face to face or on the phone or on a Zoom platform or some kind of digital platform. Okay, then you have to do a presentation. The presentation doesn't have to be a formal, oh, you know what, do the slides in front of the boardroom. It could be, you can do the presentation in Zoom. You can do the presentation, over the phone. All right. But you have to send the right information out. And I'm going to share with you a script that you can use. You have to tweak it a little bit to your business, but you can use it, almost right away. Okay, and I'll go through this on the next slide. Then you got to figure out what your follow-up flow is. It doesn't have to be 70 days, but you have to have a follow-up system. Okay, so I'm going to go through a sample cold call script with you right now. I'm going to go through this a little bit quickly, okay, because we are recording this, so you can rewind and replay when you get the link to the recording. All right, and I'm trying to make it as general, but as effective as possible for you. All right, you may have to tweak a couple things. In fact, you should tweak a couple things, and I'll explain why we're doing it this way. Now, I also have to let you know we did a face-to-face training for a very small team just a few days ago. It's a new telemarketing team for a property firm, and they wanted me to create the script and train them in the script so that they can start generating leads for the agents. And what happened was, the script I wrote for them was a very simple qualifying script, with sending out information and having a call to action at the end of the script. The script, if you go through it without a lot of interruptions, takes about 1.5 minutes. Okay, the whole training session on that 1.5 minute script was almost 2 hours. Okay, so a lot of effort goes into scripts. A lot of effort goes into fine tuning it. What I'm doing is I'm giving you a very very good start, and you just have to tweak it a little bit here and there. In fact, I'll make you an offer right now. There's no charge for this. if you if you look at what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes, create your cold call script. You create your cold call script, uh, send it to me in a Microsoft Word format. Just reply to the email that I'll send out to you within 24 hours. Create your cold call script. In fact, I'll make it easier for you. I'll include the text to the cold call script and I'll send it to you by email so that you can adjust it. So you don't have to type everything. Okay. So I'll send, yeah. So create your sample cold call script, email it to me, and I'll fix it for you. I'll critique it for you, and I'll make adjustments for you. No charge for this. Okay. Anybody listening or watching to this session, if you're hearing this, I will do this for you at no charge. All right. So let's get into it. Okay. So we start with there's a few phases. All right. So we start with the sample cold call script. This is the intro part. All right. We're trying to find out who the decision maker is, right? Okay, I'll just read through it, and then you'll hear, and then you see, I'm reading it, but it doesn't sound like I'm reading it. You have to practice it so that it sounds natural when you're on the phone. It's like, hi, is this ABC company? Yes, it is. Great. I have a question. Maybe you can help me. This is Chris with Comtech. There's two ways to ask this question. Okay. The first way is I need to find out who's in charge of XYZ. Okay. I need to find out who's in charge of purchasing of technical equipment. I need to find out who's in charge of the telecommunication decisions. Okay. The other way to ask this question is, let's say you know the specific title that you need to reach. For example, purchasing manager. Um, yeah, great. I have a question. Maybe you can help me. This is Chris with Comtech. Um, I need to find out the name of your purchasing manager. Okay. And then they tell you the name. If they say, who is this? Oh, I mentioned that this is Chris with Comtech. And then they tell you the name. Then you say, thank you. Is he or she, is he around right now? You see, when you take charge like that, you must have some level of confidence when you're on the phone. Okay. So what we're doing is we're asking a couple questions because we need to find out a few things. And when you ask a question, the normal human response is that you answer the question. Okay. So let's say you get to the decision maker. Okay. So phase one is you are asking for the decision maker, right? Then we go into phase two. Phase two is you're connected with the decision maker, okay? And you got the name because you asked for the name earlier, right? Okay, let's say the name is John. Hey, John, I understand you're the purchasing manager of ABC Company. Is that correct? Okay, you ask that because rather than saying, "Hey, this is Chris," you're the da da da, and then you go into your pitch. No, you don't want to do that. When they get on the line, they're a little bit disoriented, and you want to help guide them to be back to their confident self, right? I understand you're the purchasing manager. Is that correct? I understand you're the purchasing manager of ABC Company. Is that correct? Yes. Hey, great. This is Chris with Comtech. Do you have a quick minute to talk to me? Now, the talk to me is a hidden command. So it goes like, do you have a quick minute to talk to me? So you're telling them, talk to me, right? And then they say, okay, I only have 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you. The reason for my call is because, and then you tell them what the reason for your call is. I'm calling because, and then you list out or you mention out, briefly what your company is, what your product is, and why you want to talk to them. Okay, so that should be 1 or 2 sentences maximum. Then instead of waiting for them to respond, you pause for half a second, and then you go, "Is it okay if we have a conversation about this? Is it okay if I ask a couple quick questions to see if there's a fit between us, if we can save you money, or we can increase the level of security, we can increase revenue, production, efficiency, whatever it is. It has to be a benefit." Okay, then they say yeah, and then you have a brief conversation about that. Remember, the first one of the first questions, the second question you asked is, do you have a quick minute to talk to me? All right, so you want to go through this, but you don't want to have a long drawn out conversation. Okay, and we don't want to present on the first call. Okay, because what they're doing is they're making a decision. If you present on the first call, they're gonna make a decision on whether they're gonna want to talk to you, in the future. So you don't present on the first call. What you do is you send information on the first call so that you guys are on the same page, right? And that brings us to phase number three, where we send the information and we get into the call to action. So I have a suggestion, and then when you 80%, 90% of the time when I say, hey John, I have a suggestion, and then you phrase it, a little bit as a question, 80 to 90% of the time the response will be, sure, what is it, right? And if I pause and there's no answer, and then I'll add on, is that okay? I have a suggestion. Then I don't hear an answer. Is that okay with you? And then 100% of the time is yes. All right. So then you go into, I'll send you some information by email right now, and I'll call you back. Let's say today is Friday, and I'll call you back on Monday to go over some of the details. Is that okay? So we don't go, on this one, we don't go I'll call you on Tuesday morning, or is Wednesday afternoon better, right? We don't do that, because a lot of prospects now, they kind of realize that that's a sales technique, right? So we just go straight into Monday. All right. Now, if Monday's not suitable, what do you think they'll do? They will tell you, hey, no, 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 not Monday, Tuesday's better. Okay, do you want me to call you on Tuesday morning, say around 10? So that's how you have that conversation. Then it becomes a very natural conversation, right? So they say, okay, no, don't call me on Monday, call me on Tuesday morning. Sure, I'll call you somewhere on Tuesday morning, somewhere around 10 o'clock. Is that okay? Now, we don't make hard and fast phone appointments, especially on the first and second call. The reason for this is, if let's say we go, okay, I'm gonna put you down for, I'll call you at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. They're not in their office at 9:59 going, Chris is gonna call. I better make sure I got no interruptions, nothing going on, and I'm gonna just sit here and wait for the phone to ring and wait for his call. Okay, nobody does that. All right, and then if you say 10 o'clock, you call at 10 o'clock, but sometimes you're a little bit delayed, right? And then you go, oh no, I'm late because it's 10:03, right? Or you call at exactly 10 and there's no answer. Then you go, oh no, he didn't answer the phone. Do you call at 10:03? Do you call at 10:05? Do you call at 10:10? What do you do? We don't know, right? And then we don't, because we don't want to be a bother. So we don't say, I'll call you at 10 o'clock. What we do is, what I suggest that you do is, I'll call you on Tuesday between 10 and 10:30. Is that okay? Now you have a range of time. And when you have a range of time, you actually have permission to call between 10 and 10:30, right? So you call at, let's say, 10:05, no answer. Then you don't have to feel bad that you're calling again at 10:15, because you said you're going to call between 10 and 10:30, right? Uh, okay, so I'll send you some info by email right now. And usually I recommend that we get together to make sure and find out if this will be the right fit for you. Get together can be, on the phone, it can be on a Zoom call, or it can be in person. And then uh, now the I'll call you back on Tuesday to go over some of the details. Is that okay? So, and then you finalize in. Is there some time on Tuesday that we can schedule 20 or 30 minutes? I promise you, we'll only need 20 minutes to see if this is a good possibility. If we take longer than that, it's only because you asked me to. Sound fair? You see, you limit yourself to 20 minutes or 15 or 30, whatever you need, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to tell them that I value your time. I value your time, so I'm going to put a time limit on my pitch to you. Okay? And if we go longer than 20 minutes, it's only because you asked me to. I've had I've had commitments for as short as 7 minutes, and I say all I need is 7 minutes to see if this is a good possibility. And if we take longer than that, it's only because you asked me to. So I've asked for 7 minutes, but I've 60 to 70% of the time, that 7 minutes when we do it, it turns into 45 or 1 hour. I've even had some prospects say, "Hey, I thought you said this would only take 7 minutes," and then you say, then how I answer is, "I did. I took 7 minutes. We're taking longer than 7 minutes because you're asking me all these questions, right?" But it's a good thing when they ask questions and you go longer. But you don't be the one to make it go longer. Okay. So then we go into phase four. Phase four is the confirmation. Okay, let me confirm your email address, even if you have it, because you're getting them in the habit of answering your questions. Now, the next part, when we said, okay, what's your mobile number? Let's say we're calling the office, we want to get the mobile number, right? If you come straight out and say, what's your mobile number? Uh, uh, we were only getting about 40 to 50% mobile numbers when we asked, what's your mobile number? Okay. Now, some industries will be higher, some will be lower. So we get them in the habit of answering the question. So let me confirm your email address. Can you spell it for me? Then you get it right. And then now there's people, individuals, professionals in a couple different countries. And of course, on the Facebook Live, we have several different countries watching or will be watching. So in this script, I say WhatsApp, but some countries they prefer another kind of messenger app, whether it's WeChat or Viber or Telegram, whatever it is, right? Just make sure that it's common enough in your location. So what I say is we also send out information by WhatsApp. What's the number you use? Obviously, that's the mobile number, right? And you know that 40 to 50% where we get the mobile number, it increased to 80, almost 90%. And then they say, hey, what do you want my WhatsApp number for? Oh, I want to send you some information as well, because sometimes we send out info by WhatsApp. What's the number you use? And then we get the number. Okay. Now, once you get it, make sure you write all this down, and then you go, I'll send this info out to you, and I'll call you back on Tuesday morning. I wanted to mention, now you can say this or you cannot say this. It's up to you. This is what we call the tie down, the confirmation. Because sometimes when you say, can I talk to you on Tuesday morning? And they say yes, they never check the calendar, and then they kind of forget that they have another meeting at 10 o'clock. All right. And you want to make sure that, they're a viable prospect. All right. They're not just, yeah, 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 send me the info just to get you off the line. Right. So I'll send this info out to you and call you back on Tuesday between 10 and 10:30. And I wanted to mention this, John. Sometimes people will say, yeah, 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 send me the info just to get me off the phone. You're not doing that, are you? And you got to chuckle a little bit to soften it. All right. And then I've had people answer this. Actually, yes, I was. But you know what? I'll take a look at the info now. All right. And then the next one is you want to make sure that they answer you, and they're aware that they're kind of available in their mind between 10 and 10:30. And then how we ask that is there any reason you wouldn't be able to take my call on Tuesday morning between 10 and 10:30? Okay. And then, no, 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 it's fine. And then sometimes I've also heard, oh, you know what? You're right. I got a meeting. Better make it 11, right? Because how many times have you called a prospect at 10 o'clock and they're in a meeting and they're not around, right? Okay. So, and you want to confirm the meeting, and sometimes we confirm it 24 hours before. Sometimes we confirm it an hour or two before the appointment. Okay. So, and this is where the WhatsApp or the SMS comes in, right? I'll message you on Tuesday at about 9 o'clock to confirm our appointment and to remind you that I'll be calling between 10 and 10:30. Okay, so that's a simple first call script. Now, I'm a very big believer, practitioner, and proponent of scripts. Sometimes we talk to business owners and salespeople, and they say, "Oh, I don't use scripts because it makes me sound like I'm reading, or it makes me sound like I'm a piece of wood." And the reason you sound like you're reading, and the reason why you sound like a piece of wood, is because you don't practice it. You got to practice the way that you talk. So the script that I just in the last 10 minutes or so, the script that we went over, I was reading it, okay? But I would bet that it doesn't sound like I was reading it. Now, if your prospects are, I will share this with you also. This script, we shared it in probably a dozen different countries. I didn't do the translation, okay, but our clients did the translation into Mandarin, into Cantonese, into BM, into Tagalog, into Bisaya. It works. I'm telling you, it works. All right. This is the structure. All right. So you must have scripts. You must have scripts on these things. When you cold call, when you must have your script on the second call. When you set an appointment, you must have an objection script. You must have a list of questions that you're prepared to ask your prospect and your leads to qualify them. You must know exactly what all your benefits are, and so that you can get them to relate to your prospect. Okay. You must have scripts for your email. Most of my emails that I send out are all not the email newsletters, but my sales and prospecting emails. They're already written. When I send out an email with information, what I do is I copy and I paste, copy and I paste. Of course, I put Dear John and all that, right? Same thing for okay. First meeting, you must have a script. Same thing for your FB Messenger. Let's say they message you on Facebook. Let's say they message you by commenting on your Facebook post. Your incoming calls. How do you answer your call? Okay, I've called some companies, uh, hello, like that, and it's like, what? This is how you answer the phone in your company? Okay, if you answer your phone, your main line like that, how do I have the confidence that you're going to take care of me when I become a customer, right? You must have scripts for your WhatsApp messages, your follow up, your referrals, and how you ask for testimonials and for referrals. All this sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? Honestly, it is a lot of work, but you do the work once, and you'll have it for the rest of your sales and business career. Okay. All of these things that I just mentioned, the scripts for the cold calling, all the way down to testimonial. I had these written out maybe 18 years ago. Of course, over the last 18 years, we have to do adjustments, we have to fine tune, we have to make it current to the times. So it's like a living document that is always being updated and improved on. But we always have it, okay? And it saves you a lot of time, and it makes your results more predictable if you're able to have a baseline and be able to follow these things. All right? Because one of the worst things in business, one of the very, very worst things in business is that you depend on one client and one deal to save your month, to make quota. Never, ever, ever depend on one client or one deal or one meeting. You might make the deal, but you're doomed for long term failure. You must have an abundance of leads and prospects coming in. You should have you should have leads and prospects coming in every day from your efforts. Remember, top professionals identify the activities that give them the greatest results, and they focus on those activities with constant and consistent action. One of the activities that you should focus on every single day is lead generation and prospecting. Okay? When you follow up, you will never lose a sale because you're professionally persistent. Okay? I've won deals where they said, you know what, you're really persistent. I really like that. I wish my sales team, my I wish my sales team was more like that. Okay? And I'm not calling and pestering, all right? And I'm going to share with you a couple ways we can that you can do it, all right? So when you follow up, okay, don't say, "Hey, I'm calling to follow up with you." Nobody likes to be followed up on, but everybody likes to be followed up with professionally. Okay, so you can read through these yourself. Okay, these are just the opening statements that you can start with on your script for the follow up. Hey, I was just calling to check status on the proposal. Wanted to make sure you got my email. That's a follow up as well because you know you're having a touch point with your prospect. All right. Now, let me ask you this: have you ever had a situation where you talked to a client or a prospect and you kind of knew that they were going to buy, right? And you said, "Hey, so do you want to?" Don't say it this way. I'm just using it for the example. All right. So, hey, John, you do want to get this, right? Do you want to place the order now? And then you hear, and then John says, you know what? Hold on, I need to think about it. I'll call you next week. And then what do? We go, okay. And then here we go, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get a deal from John. He's gonna let me know next week, right? Then next week comes. But which day next week? We got Monday to Sunday, right? Is he gonna call Monday? Is he gonna call Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? We don't know. So Monday comes and we think, you know what? John hasn't called yet, but he said he was gonna do it. He said he was interested. He just needs to think about it, right? So I'm pretty sure he'll let me know. But then we're shy to call because he said he would call us. So this goes on every day, and then it comes Friday, right? And then it's like, oh, the whole week went by. Today's Friday. He didn't call me. Maybe I lost a deal. I don't know if I want to call him because I didn't call him this whole week. And then it's like you lost a deal, right? I'm going to share with you a phrase that will eradicate all of this. Okay? That phrase is if I don't hear from you by, all right? So let me go through this again. Let's say I talk to John. Hey John, do you want to buy this now? He goes, you know what? I'm interested, but I need to think about it. I'll give you a call next week. This is how I respond. Okay. Hey John, it's great that you need to think about it. Our best clients before they said yes, that's a hidden command. Before they said yes, they also had to think about it. In fact, the more that you think about it, the more that this is going to make more sense to you, and you know that you have to get it from me. I understand that you have to think about it. Getting in touch with me next week, no issues at all. Which day next week do you think you would give me a call back? Then John says, "Oh, I think maybe by Wednesday morning." Okay, awesome, John. Like I said, think about it. I'll wait to hear back from you by Wednesday morning. But if I don't hear from you by 1 p.m., I'll give you a call between 1 and 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Is that okay? And they will say yes, right? Uh, and that's how you eradicate not knowing when to call and having the hesitation of how to call. My final thoughts on this session is I want you to think about this. Okay, give yourself no choice but to succeed. And I've been in this situation where, many times in my life where I had no choice except to succeed. I've been between a rock and a hard place many times in my life, and I never give up. I always give myself no choice. I have to succeed. And in order to be able to do that, you must make everything count. You must make every minute count. You must make every day count. You must make every week and every month count. Okay? Don't, sit back and in laziness and depression and like, oh, you know what, the economy is no good. Oh no, you know what, the pandemic. Oh no, you know what, nobody's buying. Make everything count. Make every phone call count. Make every meeting count. Make every social media post count. Make every message count. I cannot tell you how many times you've experienced this. I cannot tell you how many times I answer an ad on Facebook and that, yeah, I'm interested. And then 8 hours later, the next day, 2 days later, they answer back, yes, how can we help you? If they answer back at all, right? If you're going to do marketing, answer back. Because when someone takes the effort to send you a message or to give you a phone call or send you an email, answer as quick as you can because they took the effort to reach out to you. Okay? I want to remind everyone and invite you to the other sessions that we're having. We have six more sessions, left. We're doing them every Friday. We call it the Sales Skills Live Webinar Series. All the sessions like today's for the next six, there's no charge to register, no charge to attend. Okay. You can take a look at the topics. I'll send you the email for the link to be able to see the topics and the remaining dates that we have. I highly encourage you to attend because we'll give out information on each of the topics. And as I promised you from the very in the very beginning of the session, we always share information that is relevant, timely, and valuable. And I want to mention this. Now, there is a charge. We are charging for this live webinar training. It'll be in the last week of February. But don't worry, it's not going to be thousands. It's not going to be several hundred. Okay. We're going to get into our Q&A in a minute. So please ask me your questions. I'm here to answer for you. And I want to I'll this program that you see on your screen here, it's not we're not selling it just yet. We're not marketing yet. Um, we're in the process of finalizing the details on this program, but it's basically going to be a whole day program. But I'll send you the details once it's ready. The topics that we're going to cover, on this whole day intensive advanced training is the champion mindset for sales and business, how to get a constant flow of leads. Now we talked about prospecting in the last within the last hour. We're gonna go deep dive. We're gonna deep dive into prospecting. In fact, the probably the prospecting is we're going to spend an intensive amount of time. When you attend this program, you're going to be, I'm not going to say you're going to become a prospecting master, but you're going to be you're going to become a prospecting warrior. All right. In prospecting, you're also going to need to know how to build instant and effective rapport. When you present, you need to know how to be persuasive and give effective, interesting presentations. You get objections. How I handle I need to think about it. That's how we handle. But I'll teach you how to handle every single objection that you get in your business. Okay, from the I'm not interested, need to think about it, check with my boss, my wife, my husband, my partner, don't have the budget, too much money, can't afford it, not right now. My cousin does this. If I'm going to buy, I'll buy from him. We have an existing vendor we use for so many years. We're happy. How do you handle all these objections? And then we're gonna cover professional closing skills, how to sell without selling. because nobody likes a salesperson, right? Nobody likes to be sold, but we like to buy. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to sell without selling. Okay. Then strategies. If you like my if I don't hear from you by this date, I'll give you a call. If you like that strategy, I'm going to share so many effective, powerful strategies with you, so that the probability, now we cannot say never, but the probability of not losing a deal is going to be so high. All right. People lose deals in the follow up. I'm going to teach you a system. I'm going to teach you the techniques and the tactics, what to say and what to do in your follow up, so you never look like you're bothering them or you're harassing them, but keeping in touch with them so that you don't lose the deal. Now we're doing this in two dates in February. We'll announce the dates probably by within the next 10 days. There'll be two dates, but it's one session. You get to attend either one, or you get to attend both, and it's the same price. And it goes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. One of the dates will be a weekday. The other one will be a weekend. Okay, so if you can only attend on the weekday, attend the weekday. If you can only attend the weekend, attend the weekend. But you can attend both. Both the sessions will be live. All right. When we have done this program in the past, what we've charged 699 USD. We've also done this program online in the last 8 9 months, and we were charging 299 USD. Uh, my special for 2021, it'll be 97. But you cannot buy this yet. You cannot buy this yet. We're not ready to sell it yet. We'll be ready in the next 10 to 14 days, and we'll send information out to you on that. Okay. With that, we've come to the end of the sharing session. We're gonna go into the Q&A right now. All right. And let me just stop the share real quick. And if I can ask you a favor, while you're thinking of any questions to ask, you can type it in. Oh, I see a question there. Okay, so Donna asked this question: what is the best activity that you have tried that leads to sales besides follow up? Uh, well, everything. Well, Donna, everything hinges on the follow up. Okay, when you send out promos, discounts, coupons, that's a form of follow up as well, isn't it? Right? Everything is in the follow up. When you're talking about the activity, right? I would think that maybe you're talking about, is it sending out a newsletter? Is it sending a message? Is it a phone call? Is it a WhatsApp? Is it a SMS? Is that kind of what you're asking? I think that's what you're asking. And the best answer is all of the above. Okay. Some people like to get things in the mail, right? Some people uh, prefer email. Some people prefer phone call. You have to have a mix of all these things, so that you appeal to the different emotions and the different preferences that they have. And we must have a mix. I hope that answered your question. Okay. If I can, while you're thinking of questions, if I can ask everybody a favor, if you can put your video camera on. I'd love to take a screenshot of everyone. Hi Noreen, is that Yan? Is that Yan? Yes, I see Yan. And then your name is Jamaya, but you know what? I know I didn't call you that. I know I called you something else. Uh, Donna, good to see you again. Donnell, CT, and then Lance, good to see you here again. Evelyn, I think meeting you for the first time. Christopher, Anthony, Farah, Justin, good to see you again. Well, not see you yet, but okay. There's a question here from Evelyn. Let's see. While you're getting the videos on, I'm going to take screenshots and I'll share these screenshots with everyone as well. So the next question is, how can you see if the prospect should not be persuaded anymore? Uh, I've had people tell me, I won't say the word, but FO. I've had people tell me FO, don't ever call me again, and I call them again. Okay, my philosophy on follow up is this. Uh, oh, and the one that told me the FO, right? I called back and they said, didn't I tell you never to call again? And if I remember, that only happened once, right? And I said something like, yeah, but I thought you were joking, so I was calling to make sure. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do that. Okay, usually when you can sense irritation, when you can sense irritation in the conversation, that's usually a sign that you should pull back a little bit. In fact, when I kind of hear that irritation or I suspect there's an irritation, I will ask them, "Hey, John, let me ask you this. I hope I'm not following up too much. I hope I'm not harassing you. I'm not too aggressive for you, am I?" Those are the questions I will ask. And some of them will say, "Oh, no, 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 not, no, keep." I've had prospects tell me, "You know what, keep doing what you're doing because I'm going to say yes, but I always forget, so I need you to follow up with me." And when we do it the right way, and that's the response that we get, then you know that you're doing it right. So um, so Evelyn, I hope that answered the question. If you feel some kind of resistance, just tell them, "Hey, you know what? I'm so sorry. I kind of feel like maybe I'm harassing you. Should I like call you a little bit less, or you tell me what you want?" Just ask them. We're having a conversation. Okay. So while you're thinking of questions, if I can ask you for the rest of everyone to put your video on so I can take a picture, a screenshot. Uh, Okay, on the count of three, we take three pictures. The first one is like a little bit serious, where everyone looks serious, like Donna right now. Everyone looks serious, like Donna. Okay, awesome. Okay, the next one, let's get a great big smile from everyone. Give me a bigger smile than mine. Okay, and this one, the last one, is for the millennials. Okay, we're going to take two. You're going to have a choice of two. The first one, the older people do a thumbs up. The millennials will do this. Is that okay? Okay, on the count of three. On the count of three. Okay, on the count of three. Older people thumbs up. Millennials and the young people, yan, like that. Okay, on the count of three. One, two, three. Awesome. Okay, so I see we're all millennials here. I'm going to I'm going to stop the Facebook sharing right now. Just give me one quick second. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I want to thank you for staying until the end. You can reach us by either commenting below or sending a question in the comments below. Okay, so the recording is still on. Are there any final questions from anyone on the session? You can type it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask me the question. Lance, you got my reply from the last time, right? The email that I sent back to you. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. If there are no questions, we'll send out a recording of this session within the next 24 hours. I'll send out the text of the cold call script and the other things that I promised you. And if you want to get back in touch with me, you can reply to that email. Remember, if you write out your script and send it to me, please send it to me in a Microsoft Word or a Google document format so I can edit and adjust it for you very, very easily. And my turnaround time on that is usually less than 24 hours. So if you send it to me, I I almost always try to get it back to you within 24 hours. Lance, I know that we took longer. We took longer on that before. Um, Most welcome on that email. All right. Okay. So if there are no additional questions from anybody, what I would ask you to do is, as you're leaving, just give me a wave, and then I'll wave back at you. I'll acknowledge, and hopefully we'll see y'all next. Bye, Donna. We'll see y'all next week. We have another session next week. All right. Bye, Evelyn. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Bye. Bye. Bye, Yan. Bye, Justin. All right, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording now. And